Hello. How are we doing today? I'm just waiting for the camera to come on. I had no idea. But welcome to Laws of Enchantress. It is steaming hot. If you are in the East Coast, on the East Coast, at the East Coast, it is hot. It is hot. So how you doing? I'm excited because I've been busy. I know I haven't been posting like I normally am, but I'm going to get back into it. I'm trying to manage everything by myself. But I'm so excited. I finally broke 3,000 subscribers. So yay, I'm really excited. I have 3,000 subscribers. And I haven't even been on this channel that often. For those of you that know, I am the admin of the wildly successful Laws of Enchantress program. It is a self-love, self-healing, self-confidence, and self-wellness for Black women. I am so excited. And hey, how you doing? And we've been doing so phenomenal. Like I'm like in shock how well the program did. So the Laws of Enchantress program, I put it out like May 1st of last year. And hey, thank you. And it was only supposed to be a 3-day program. That was it. It was not supposed to be a continuous program. It was a 3-day program for Black feminine sacred. So you can love yourself, adore yourself, and truly explore what it means to be a Black woman. And thank you, great to see you too. And I was blown away by how many Black women were like, please give me more and more. Because I mean, if you actually get the course, it's a structured video course. It also has several pages, fitness, health, in-depth pages with actual real information. And we have access to over 200 PDFs. You get a free Laws of Enchantress book that I wrote over 200 pages, and plus access to other free books because I just uploaded everything I had into the file section. In addition, there is tons and tons of support groups for fitness, for health, for beauty, and also myself. I am a certified advanced law of attraction practitioner. I've been studying law of attraction for over 15 years. I'm certified with Dr. Joe Fatal, and I am a also certified master life coach. Been doing this for years with HR, human resources, and my focus has always been my beautiful, wonderful sisters. But I didn't expect it to be this good. I'm going to be honest with you. I started working with matchmakers, relationship experts. I started paying to take courses and bring back top tier information in conjunction with my knowledge about the law of attraction and also the experiences of so many sisters I've encountered in my years, and made this structured program. And to date, in a year, there's been about 8 engagements, not including mine, and about 4 marriages and 1 more coming up. And people say, is it a marriage thing? I don't think necessarily, because you have happily married women who are actually in my program and they became married. It's just a really great positive place where you can learn about business, real estate. I'm crazy about telling girls to get their real estate license. Just really Disneyland for Black women. It's such a unique place where you get to love yourself and honor yourself and just really uplift yourself and see yourself as you truly are meant to be. Because I always tell my sisters, you are the prize, you are the upgrade, you are the bag, you know, that you. So I am so blessed and honored to have the opportunity to be here on their journey with my sisters. Like, this is you trusting me to guide you and be a part of your blessed journey. So truly, I want to thank all my followers. I want to thank my subscribers because I am absolutely nothing without you guys. Thank you for sticking by me. Thank you for not letting yourself get lost in drama. But I told you, if I ever came to a public platform, I would never engage myself or, you know, go crazy. I know YouTube has a lot of people that engage people in that toxic way. I absolutely refuse. I don't pick and choose. You know, I don't say I'm too classy for this, and then if I think something's vulnerable, I attack that. Like, I have been consistent. I'm like the Michelle Obama of YouTube, meaning that I don't get in the craziness. I really admire her. That's one Black woman that I'm so crazy about. I have a couple that are completely amazing, but you know, Michelle Obama, you know, when she was the first lady of the United States, you saw her get dragged. Like, people attacked her. She couldn't do anything right. You know, from the way she dressed, the way she talked, even people criticized her appearance. And what I noticed about Michelle Obama is that she never gave them her energy. And it must be really tough when you're a mother, you're a wife, you're first lady, and you're just fully with this big bullseye on you. I've seen stories that I won't even repeat on here. I mean, you can just do a simple Google on your own if you want to see the toxic things they were saying. But what's so revolutionary is that she truly never engaged. She never stooped to their level. She never once gave them her energy. And I'm going to tell you something. Being classy, being reserved is not for everyone. I'm not saying you're wrong if you do engage, but it takes a lot of self-confidence. It takes a lot of self-respect, a lot of self-love for you to hold steadfast and not feel the compulsive need to respond. Because I had to learn from her. I had to read her book, and I've watched her whole career. And yeah, they truly just attacked her in every way. But if she allowed herself to give in, if she allowed herself to go back and forth, that's what they want. But instead, she had probably one of the most successful terms as First Lady. She did so many programs, corporations. She did so many things, the Go Move. And on top of that, she kicked it off with having, I think, 2019's best book of the year. I mean, she made millions of dollars. She had her live tour. And I think recently, if I'm correct, Time magazine awarded her the most liked woman of 2019. She beat out all these other women. So that's a huge round of applause for Michelle Obama. And that's what I want my black women to see. I want us to see what can happen when you stop giving your energy to negativity, because negativity needs energy to be maintained. And as we're coming down to the draw of this year, it's 2019, it is July, it is what, July 21st. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, this year has been flying. I don't know, it's because I got engaged, I was doing Laws of Enchantress and Twin Flame, and I was still doing my day job. I don't know if that's what it was, but I definitely know that this year has flown by, and I don't want to see sisters, doing the same thing they were doing, I don't want to see sisters doing the same thing they were doing in the beginning of this year, because truly time is you. Time is of the essence, and I don't think sisters realize the power of their mind, the power of their hopes and dreams. And you really have to stop the negativity crack, stop the negativity bonding. There's so much amazing things. We just had a beautiful, drop-dead gorgeous Ebony Rich sister land the role of 007, which is huge. That's the James Bond role, and she is gorgeous, Ebony Rich, natural hair. We had Ducky Thot, killing the walkway in Europe, and she was the face of Balmain. She's the face of Moschino. She's the face of Oscar de la Renta. We just had so much advancements, and if you don't see the positivity, is because you are aiming for negativity. And I'm truly telling you, you have the power to truly take your life to the next level. But what I also want to talk about, is, as a black woman, you have options. And what I mean by options, you have options to be happy and live your best life. You need to go outside of your perception. As I'm talking to you, as the words are coming out my mouth and it's hitting your eardrum, there are black women getting married, there are black women being loved and adored, there are black women living well, they're going on vacation, they are shopping, they're in Sephora, they're in Bloomingdale's, they're in Harrods, they're enjoying their life, and it's all about your projection. Too many of us are addicted to negativity, and when I talk like this, people don't take me serious, but truly, you create your reality. I am a hardcore believer in the law of attraction. I believe it, I receive it, I change my life with it, I change my health with it, and I'm not perfect. I still have to continue, but it is a fight to keep yourself in that high energy and that high frequency, because that's what creates the reality. You have to remember, you can't get a positive life from a negative mind. And too many of us are predisposed to negativity, especially when you are a black woman. A lot of us like to entertain negativity because that's just what we're raised in. Before we even get a chance to dream, people are telling you what you can't do, where you can't go, what you can't have. For instance, on my Laws of Enchantress page, I have a free closed page where you can learn more about the program, because I always say full transparency. You get to see what the courses look like, what the program looks like, and what we're about. And it's a one-time fee of $199, but it's a lifetime membership. You have full access to all past courses, all future courses, all books, all groups, everything. So it's absolutely worth it. If you were to download all the PDF books, it would pay back for the course, because I actually have a lot of free books in the file section. But anyway, what I was telling the girls today in the Law of Attraction, Law of Enchantress group, in the free closed group, is that a lot of us have been living a lie. And that's the absolute truth. The lie is that there's women living well. And when I say well, I'm not talking about, rich 1%, 2%. I'm not here to sell you that dream, okay? That's other people that will sell you that dream. I'm not here to tell you, you're going to marry Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett. That's another level. What I'm trying to tell you as black women, that being loved, being adored, being provided for is absolutely normal. In fact, we are doing the fairy tale. We're doing the delusional. No one lives like the majority of black women. And by that, I mean that not all, but the majority of black women, so many of us are living with no help, no support, single mothers, breadwinners, providers, and I'm going to tell you something. That's not the norm. It may be the norm for you, but in the United States of America, the typical woman does not live like that. So when I tell you as a black woman, you can be loved, you can be provided for, you can be protected and cherished, that's not an oddity. That's basic. I'm going to be honest with you. That's basic. When you leave certain demographics, that becomes the norm. And you have to remember, America is about 360 million people. Out of that, you have about 45 million African Americans. You got about 20 million black men and 25 million black women. And that's it. We're less than 13.5% of the entire American population. And I hate to tell you, the entire American population, especially the women, married or single, do not live like how we live. Unsupported, unloved, unadored, unprotected. I mean, it's because we're living in like one tiny fraction. You really have to travel. When I say open your options, I don't mean black or white, because you can have a white asshole, you can have a black asshole. My fiance is 100% British, Caucasian, but I do not tell you that, just because somebody's white, they're going to be better. I don't believe in that. I honestly, I was not looking, after a couple of experiences I've had in New York, I was not looking for anybody by the color. I was looking by the character. And when I say character, it could be black, Asian, Filipino, as long as you're not shorter than me, because my family's super tall. I'm sorry, I'm the shortest person in my family, and I'm 5'7". So I don't want that short, awkward feeling. But, truly sticking to that belief and the essence of that, because you have to understand, you are the prize. When you start pre-approving men before they even did anything for you, that's selling yourself short. I don't care who the guy is. When you start pre-approving like a credit card, that's selling yourself short. You're only supposed to give men credit who treat you well, who respect you, who honor you, who are courting you. I don't give you credit just because you have a different complexion or melanin than me. And so many of us are doing that because I'm sorry, some of us have an inferiority complex. We truly think that if it's not black, it's better. That's not true. I know plenty of sisters who date interracially and they are not married. Sometimes they even have kids out of wedlock. I'm sorry, we got to be honest. Like our marriage rate has not drastically changed when we're dating out. What we need to do is pay attention to why we're dating out, what we want of the relationship, and also understanding a man's a man. If you don't know what you want, they'll take you for a ride. If you don't know how to be courted, they're not going to court you. If you don't love yourself and respect yourself, you're going to unfortunately attract people who don't love you and respect you. That's the truth. Even with your friends, even with your family, even with your career, if you don't have a certain amount of respect for yourself. So even if you go out into the best place in the world, if you haven't healed your trauma, if you haven't healed your pain, if you haven't cultivated a culture of continuous self-healing, even if you're married, this doesn't stop just because you're single. Even if you are married, you have to look at your calendar, make sure you got your self-care days, make sure you got days to yourself, because you're going to have your husband, your kids, your household to run. Even if you're married, these are good freaking habits to start creating for yourself now. So, I don't know. I don't know. New York City is not the best place because New York City is a liberal town. It's not the best place. I'm marriage-minded. I'm a traditionalist. I'm old-fashioned. If you're just looking to date, you can just date. But I don't believe in that. Like for me, I believe in being courted. I believe in love. I believe in a balance of love and prosperity. You can have both. I mean, I live typically in an area where you can see people that are housewives. It's just normal. Outside of the black community, it is normal. I hate to say it, but it's normal. Not just the black community, certain socio-economics. Like if you're in the hood, you're not going to see that. But if you travel to Bucks Head, Georgia, like I did when I went to go to Leia's wedding, she was actually the first formal full Enchantress bride, and she was driving me around because I'm not from Georgia. I've been to Georgia once or twice, and I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you because the certain type of marriages, I don't know. It's up to you. I don't know. It's up to you. Like New York is not a conservative town. It's New York. We're blue and we're liberal in our blood. So I'm a more of an old-fashioned conservative. I'm not fast. I'm not a fast person. I've dated in New York and it was really tough to date in New York for me. So it depends on the type of person you are. You might enjoy it. I don't like speed dating. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't speak in absolutes. I'm speaking from my opinion. New York City is not like, you know, one of the biggest states for marriage. I mean, you can even look at it. We're not known for happy marriages. So it's tough. New York has a lot of modern practices in New York. So if you find that little niche or corner, God bless you. But New York women are constantly complaining. Like, you can just look it up for yourself. You can look up. So it's up to you. I mean, it's up to you. You can agree, you can disagree, but you know, for me, I don't like New York in terms of dating. I wouldn't raise my kids here either. New York is very, very, in my opinion, it's a little bit too liberal for me. And I think it's a great city in terms of economics and finance and business, but I would not raise my children in New York City. I'm just, as somebody that's, you know, my personal beliefs and stuff, I would not. I don't care for it. I'm born in New York City, born and raised, Brooklyn, New York, Manhattan my whole life. I'm a New Yorker in my blood. It's the only place I've ever lived in my entire life. You know, I was never moving around constantly. I think I pretty know it well because, you know, like everybody's different. So, you know, I mean, you can look at it for yourself. You want to have fun? I have my laptop here because I'm very fact-based. I don't like to speak from opinion. So let's see dating in New York. Because I have a lot of female friends that live in New York and dating New York nightmares. Okay, let's get something fair, okay. Dating in New York. Okay. Dating in New York. Okay. I'm trying to look for something neutral. I don't like using like opinion stuff. Well, that's not new. Okay. Nassau County, Rockland County. Rockland County is not New York City. New York City? Okay, New York, Rockland County, that's the richest. Rockland County is the richest county, one of the richest counties in New York. That's a suburban town. By the time you get there, you're married. I have one or two friends that live there, but that means they're married. So normally it's like really high-end business professionals, yes. But it's not a good town to look if you're single. Rockland County is about 60%, 71% married couples. Like meaning that it's suburbia, but it's high-end. Yeah, Rockland County is posh. It's one of the best counties that we have. Yeah, so I'm talking about Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. That's New York City. That's the city. That's the tough place to date. First of all, in New York City, top of my head, we have like twice the amount of men to women. Okay? And what makes it tougher is that you can't, it depends on how you date. It depends on how you date. There's so many demographics there, like what type of guy you want, what type of education you want, what type of man, the age. There's so many intricacies that go into it. You really have to sit down and look at it because there's actually ways you can figure out percentage-wise who you're going to date and why. Like, for instance, if I'm Jewish and I only want to date Jewish men, the numbers drop drastically. Like, if you're black and you only want to date black men, you know, the numbers date drastically because there's more black men, there's less black men than black women. Then if you put education into it, age into it, do you want kids? Does he want kids? So there's a lot of different things that go into it. So it depends how flexible you are. But New York has been a very competitive town. But if you're talking about upstate New York, I don't know. I've never been up there. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Then ask them. I don't know. New York is not, just to be honest with you, New York is not one of those states that are known for having, a marriage friendly town. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm telling you I don't know. I'm telling you I don't know. So I'm looking at the computer for you. I mean, my experience from what I saw for me, because I'm born here. So I'm not too sure. New York is not known to be traditional in that sense. You can look for yourself. That's why New York City has the most richest matchmakers are in New York City. There's a reason why men who make a lot of money are paying matchmakers tens of thousands of dollars to find wives in New York City. New York City has some of the best, most highest elite matchmakers in the world. So if it was that easy, you would see, men with money shouldn't have a problem, but they're having problem finding quality women who are traditional, women who want to stay home, raise the kids. You can actually look it up. Let me see. I have no idea in terms of whatever. I'm talking about New York City. I'm not born in upstate New York. I don't give opinion. Upstate New York. Upstate New York is huge. Like, New York State is a big state. It's I don't travel upstate New York. It's very rare. Only for like a wedding or somebody is having a party or something. But even then, I haven't been in a while. But let's look at dating statistics in New York City. This is why I love having a computer right here. Okay, so I'm looking. Well, I like to do factual things. I have a computer right here, okay? And I'm not saying her experience in that circles, is bad. But New York City has a long reputation. Hold on. I got to make the screen bigger because I can't see. Give me 1 second. These are dating statistics. So I'm looking up dating statistics for New York City, okay? Not the state, New York City. Okay. I'm trying to get this ad out the way. I touched it by mistake. Okay. So this is the Pew Research Studies here. And it says they utilize Kaplan, who branches to major cities. Okay, so they're comparing. Okay, this is interesting. It says they're comparing it to Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. It says New York City is different than the rest of the country. Okay. It says New Yorkers have a different idea of marriage. They think of it as something that gets in the way of their careers. They get married a little bit older. And there is a contrast between dating in the city and dating in the suburbs. So if you're talking about people that are upstate New York, there is going to be a difference because Manhattan has its own culture. Well, listen, everybody has their experience. I don't claim to be a New York City expert, but in my experience, I don't see, the numbers don't lie. I'm about to read them. I can see them from here. They said New York City is more of an education town. It was one of the highest educated towns in the United States. That's good. The average age for New York City brides is one of the oldest in the nation. No. Online dating? No. So it's 29. It says it's 29 for first-time bride, 31 for first-time groom. And that's going to be a little bit older because I do know statistically it's 27 for first-time bride and 29 for first-time groom. So right there already you see that New York City has an older marriage rate. So from right there you can just tell that it's not the same. Because if it was the same, Normally the youth of the people when they get married indicates the traditionalism of the town. Because if you go to different states in America, it fluctuates wildly. So, I mean, you could do your own research. You can see for yourself. Like, I like to speak fact-based. Just, there's too much data and statistics out there to guess. You can actually just look at it. My cat is like playing. My cat is playing with this wire down here. My 25-pound cat. So, well, I've never been to Aspen, Colorado. It's very famous. I would like to go. But so, like I was saying, it's just really exciting to see black women take an interest. Like, I'm glad that she's asking about which town is the best, because normally some of these sisters give up, and some of these sisters get pessimistic, or some of these sisters just say, it's not gonna happen for me. So you don't have to guess, ladies. I'm a big believer in statistics, Pew Research. I'm a big believer in actually, you don't have to guess. If you wanna know the answers, you can log off the video. You can say dating statistics in New York City and you will get your answer. It's not rocket science. It's not the Wheel of Fortune. it's not, I truly believe we're not as proactive as we should be. And that's why we have so much issues, because we don't like to read. We're in the age of Facebook. We think reading is statuses and Twitter. And black women need to get back to basics and look to see what actually statistically work. You don't have to guess. Like, I don't have to guess statistics in New York City. So, you know, you can look it up. Okay, let's do this. Because my computer is here. You see me twisting and turning? My 25-pound cat was like biting my feet. So I had to like smack him on his butt. But we can do this right now. Because that's the approach I think we should be taking. I don't understand why we don't utilize information that's out there. People say marriage is bad, marriage is a fairy tale, marriage this. If it's so bad, then why aren't we looking at the mistakes that people are making and actually look at the improvements? You know, like, why are we making it so complicated? There's premarital courses, there's prep courses for marriage before you get married. There's actual statistics and studies done for 20, 40 years. So why are we playing blind? Like, if you truly think marriage is bad, what are you doing to be proactive? If you don't want to get married, that's fine. But as I'm looking at black women, we're not stopping having children. We're not stopping to have relationships. You know, it's a normal, healthy thing. We're going to be social creatures. So I just think if you're going to be a social creature, why not learn to see how you can do it the best way? And you don't have to guess. The average weight of a bride, they're not going to give you that information. A bride won't even tell you her real weight if you ask her. A bride won't even tell you her real weight. But they have the average age of a bride. And I encourage all black women, you know, because we've been told a lie, stereotypical lie, I think kind of to intimidate us, even from other black women, that you have to look a certain way. I remember I did a talk on this. Holy crap. It was like Iraq and Nagasaki, and it was just bad. Okay? I have to tell sisters, you don't have to listen to me. Every sister watching this video has to live in a town where they have a affluent area. Act like you're getting married, make an appointment, and book yourself in the salon. I want you to see for yourself, because a lot of people tell you stuff that's not true. I don't know if they have a narrative they want to support or they don't like facts. I'm very fact-based. I don't get back and forth with the arguing. Google exists for a reason. Use it, open it, read it. I'm all about, like, get the information that's out there. If you go to the salon, you're not going to see a bunch of Heather Locklears, okay? You're not going to see a bunch of Kim Kardashians. You're going to see basic looking women. But the thing is that these women who are getting married in abundance, they have a marriage mindset. They feel entitled, they feel empowered, and from they were young, it's been groomed into them that they are deserving of marriage, even the most basic. So we're not saying that looks don't matter. Of course you can't walk around looking like Oscar the Grouch. Of course you can't walk around looking like a Dusty Rhodes, but it's a huge misconception to pump to black women, you have to look absolutely perfect. That's not true. I'm all for looking your best. I'm all for feeling your best. But to tell black women that you gotta be absolutely perfect is not true. I deal with facts. You don't have to listen to me. Go to a wedding salon, book yourself a couple appointments in high-end wedding salons. Look around, take pictures, take a good look at the women that are on the podium trying on wedding gowns. Go to Kleinfeld or Bridal Reflections. Go to a nice high-end area and come back and tell me if you saw only Heather Locklear or Scarlett Johansson or Pamela Anderson. It's a lie. So on the other hand, I am not discouraging you from looking your best and feeling your best. Whatever that means for you, you find yourself. If you feel confident at XYZ, that's where you go. If you don't feel confident, that's okay. Do what you gotta do to get to that level of confidence. I support black women doing whatever they wanna do to feel confident, okay? So, this is my thing. This is my thing, okay? You see my hands open? I'm about to give you a sermon. You don't wanna marry any man who doesn't want to get married, period. You don't want to marry any race of man who is not marriage minded. It's not just about the marriage. What does marriage mean to that man? Some guys think paying the bills, coming home, drinking like Homer Simpson, that's marriage. Some guys think, being traditional, whatever. Some guys want a power couple. We spend so much time arguing about who doesn't want to get married, but what does that mean to you? Like, what if I say I want to marry you? Pretend I want to marry you. You have to understand what marriage means to me. Like I said, I'm traditional. What does traditional mean to me? It's not as simple as just here's a ring. Let's get married. No, you got to make sure you guys are at least emotionally compatible. So I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind, okay? I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. One of the biggest mistakes we make, like you don't want to get married to someone that's ready to get married, and their idea of marriage is being an asshole, not being monogamous, not being, everybody's different. And I've seen so many of my friends just get married because they both are ready, career 1, career 2, and they're ready to get married. And at the end of the day, they're getting divorced in 5-10 years because they said, we're not compatible. I'm going to tell you a secret. Okay? I'm going to tell you a secret. Okay? There's different types of compatibility. Okay? And according to the Gottman Institute, which has been studying marriage for over 40 years, the most important compatibility is emotional compatibility. Not surface. Because you are guaranteed to change. According to the scientists that study behavior for 40 years, not me, you are guaranteed to change, okay? You are guaranteed to have a child, go through at least one trauma, go through some challenges, and if you can only be in a marriage with the person who's absolutely perfect in the beginning, you already know you're going to get divorced because that person is going to change, whether it's physical, emotional. What you need to find in compatibility is emotional compatibility. Meaning that you guys are responsive to each other. You guys are emotionally intelligent to each other. You guys are, looking to compromise. You want to make both each other happy. Not just, Connie's perfect. She likes sports. I like sports. I like Connie. We get married sometimes for some really superficial things. And then when it doesn't work out, we want to say marriage is trash. No, your vetting was trash. I'm just being honest because I do a lot of coaching and I talk to a lot of people that were married and they were telling me, well, this person just changed overnight. No, they did not. People change every day. I'm changing right in front of you. We're changing, we're evolving every day. Every day, little life experiences push, and mold you into little ways. But if you're not receptive to each other on a daily basis, if you make life pass you by, you don't pay attention to your partner, you don't pay attention to your spouse, then eventually one day you wake up and all those little changes day by day accumulate and that person literally becomes a stranger. So that's why I'm saying emotional compatibility is very important. Are you guys responsive the same way? Do you guys, talk to each other the same way? Some people are rough, some people are soft, some people are neutral. That's what's really important. You just can't wait for the perfect person because it's, You can't marry a girl because she's a size 2. You can't marry a guy because he likes to work out at 5 a.m. You have to come to the intelligent realization that this person might change, but what is it about this person that can stay static so you can have a healthy relationship? They're not teaching you that. It's all about the perfect person, and then when the perfect person stops being the perfect person, you don't really know how to deal with that. And I see it all the time. You know, it's like having a best friend and you guys are only friends if you both like a certain type of food, a certain type of restaurant. What happens when you stop liking that? You dump your friend. Well, it's easier to do that with a friendship. It's much more messier with a marriage. So knowing what kind of emotional, it's kind of like love languages. I'm sure you guys heard of that. If you got two people who are completely different in love languages and they can't communicate, that can be a big problem because it's the day-to-day communications that tears down relationships. And I really think that, you know, if you're looking for marriage and you want to have a healthy marriage, a proactive marriage, an abundant marriage, you got to know where you at. I don't know. Your state, I'm looking at the map here, states are different. There's certain states that are better for dating. There's certain states that are more challenging for dating. It depends on your age, your religion, lack of religion, your economics. A lot of things go into it, but the information is here. And you may think, this is too much. This is desperate. Or this is, let me tell you something. All I can say on a public platform, this is all I'm going to say on a public platform because I don't want to get this video, you know, blocked because YouTube is very sensitive. The women that are being successful, getting married, are laser sharp, precise, okay? The women that are getting married, they're not winning magically. They're going to therapy. They're going to relationship experts. They're going to matchmakers. They're going to relationship coaching. They are doing everything in their favor. But the thing is that because we're in a liberal society, okay? Because we're in a liberal society, people don't really talk about that. But even the most modern woman, she is very traditional when she's dating. But because it's, you know, it's not the most pro-woman thing to talk about, even the most biggest feminist, they're not going to tell you that they want to get married and a guy should provide. The data is there. Even feminists get married traditional. And what I mean by traditional, they want to be able to stay home with their baby. They want to be able to be a stay-at-home mom, at least for the first couple of years. They want to make sure the guy can provide. I mean, think about it. I talk about this all the time. You know, Amal Clooney married George Clooney. And if you go on her YouTube, Amal Clooney was a big feminist, okay? But yet when she got married, she made sure she picked a very well-to-do guy, one of the richest celebrities, had a traditional wedding, and she's, boom, had her kids, she's staying home. I love Meghan Markle. I was super excited when I got to meet her in person in December of earlier this year. I got to meet her face to face. It was wonderful. But as much as I love her, Meghan Markle is a self-proclaimed feminist. But when she got married, what did she do? I think nothing's more traditional than marrying a prince and living in a castle. So a lot of these women aren't telling you the benefits of traditionalism. When it happens, they close their mouth, they keep shut, they don't talk about it, they don't interview about it. It's like Fight Club. But yet, most of these successful women, this is how they're living. So, if you're, okay, ladies, I will say this. I'm not the online dating expert. That's one area that I am weak in. I met my fiance on a Facebook page that was made by a very popular swirler. Most of you guys were there with me. And I was one of the admins for that page. And he was added to that page at random. Like, she was messaging people, messaging men to come onto the page. And he saw me and he messaged me. Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, well, she was pretty life. She was strategic. You guys should watch that video. She was strategic. She did not play. Okay. When you're talking about Eastern European women, I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to get killed. But a lot of what you guys mimic, that's what comes from them. Meaning that this whole, some of the sugar baby stuff, men, just certain type of men that entertain certain type of women. And You just have to use common sense. That's all. Okay? You can't. There's something for everyone, meaning that there's success for everyone. You have to find your vibration. When you become the best version of yourself, seriously, when you love yourself and respect yourself, you don't have to worry about bad men, period. Because it's a certain level of self-respect that's going to deflect these bad men. So you have to understand that. If you don't have self-esteem, if you have trauma, if you don't have high self-respect, a lot of these people that can do damage are going to get to you easily. So it's a good video. You should watch it. So basically, she was strategic. She went to the gym. She took care of herself. She drove to Connecticut. She didn't even live there. She hung around the alumni. She met somebody, I think a professor or somebody much older. They're way married now. That's a long time ago. They've been got married. But she was strategic. But I want you to pay attention, sisters. That's what worked for her. As black women, stop thinking you don't have your own path. Meaning that when you become the best version of yourself, because that's what worked for her. She was in, I'm not trying to be mean, she was in Connecticut. That worked for her. You got to find out what's the best for you. Like, she found out what's the best for her. Her methods can be mimicked, meaning that she was strategic. She did the homework. She planned. Everything was strategic. She was not random. But to be honest with you, when I was going to these matchmakers, because that's how I made the course for Laws of Enchantress, I really saw how structured they were. And one of the biggest matchmakers in New York, you know what she said? She said, treat your marriage hunt just like your career. Absolutely no difference. She said, if you're pursuing a top tier career, it's no difference. And when I asked them, why is this not more common knowledge? Like, why is it kind of taboo, especially for black women? Holy crap. If a black woman says in public she wants to get married, it's better for her to say she wants to do anything else. I don't want to get the video blocked. Besides that, we have a toxic relationship with this subject. Then we wonder why it doesn't work out. We have, it is like a volcano. You are better off telling a black woman to eat an alligator, be a cannibal. I don't know. But it is such a toxic, hot button issue. You can tell a black woman to do anything else raunchy, explicit, extreme, and it's perfectly acceptable. You talk about love, prosperity, and marriage, all of a sudden it's like you're trying to sell a unicorn. So so it is something very different. Like, you have to find what vibes for you. You have to find what success means for you. There's different types. You don't have to have the same generic Wall Street guys who are looking for white women, and you have to bleach your skin and starve yourself and be uncomfortable as a black woman. Because I had a lot of girls come to the group and I'm like, what are you doing? There's different types of successful men. You find the vibration and alignment for you. You have to find what works for you. There's different types. There's all types of successful men. And you have to find what works for you. You cannot mold somebody else's vibration onto you, because if it's not authentic, it's not going to align. And that's what nobody's not telling you. Nobody's being public with these types of, I don't know how to say, nobody's being public with these types of executions. Meaning that you're getting advice to do A, B, and C. But nobody has the balls to come back and say it doesn't work out. You want to know how I know? Because I'm a coach. I'm a self-coach. Black women actually call me. I actually speak to them. And some of them call me and tell me this and that didn't feel good. If it doesn't feel good, it's not going to do good. You have to decide for yourself as a black woman what feels good. And when you feel good and you do good, you're going to give off good energy, and you're going to attract what's meant for you. You cannot attract what's meant for somebody else. You can have the same quality, but it's going to be for you. It's going to make you feel comfortable. You can have the success, but it's going to be for you. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the best way I can put it. Like, I'm happy with my fiance. My fiance is perfect for me. It's exactly the kind of man I wanted my entire life. I don't have to worry. He's not a millionaire, but am I going to be homeless? No. Am I not going to be provided for? No. You can only attract on the level of that which you are. So you have to, Christine, as long as a guy treats you well, I don't care. I don't like to tell black women prerequisites until they engage the guy. Why? Because I like to keep girls safe. As a grown black woman in New York City, I will not tell you to lower your guard. As long as the character is there, that's all that matters. To me, it's none of my business. It's none of my business who you date. What I care about is he treating you well? Does he love you? Does he adore you? Does he court you? Is he marriage minded? Can he provide? Can he protect? Is he a leader? These are the things that if you keep it up there, you don't have to worry about the garbage ass men. I'm going to be honest with you. You don't have to worry, because remember, you are the prize. You are the bag. You're to be courted and pursued. And that's what you have to really keep your focus on. Any man that's willing to love you and adore you, that's who you should date. As long as you're attracted. I don't want to force you to be attracted. But I don't want to give any man no, like, you don't understand something. Men like women that are covetable. She can be as basic as Mark Zuckerberg. She can be as basic as Merca, married to Roger Federer. She can be, whatever. As a black woman, you owe nothing to no one. All you owe it is to men who treat you well. In my Enchantress program, when I tell women to love themselves, we do a lot of courses on self-healing, self-confidence, self-respect, because you truly have to take care of yourself first. You got to put yourself first. So many women, especially sisters, do not put themselves first. You got women who don't take care of themselves. They've never been to the spa, never been on vacation. Staycations don't count. They never treat themselves. Even if you don't have the economics, buy yourself a bottle of wine. Take yourself out once a month to your favorite place. You don't have to, you can't make this huge jump of not loving yourself, not respecting yourself, not honoring yourself, not investing in yourself, and then, woo, you're gonna get yourself a millionaire. That's just not true. It's not even psychologically true. You have to start loving yourself first. You gotta start looking at yourself in the mirror and saying positive things. Like, I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I am worthy, I respect myself, I adore myself. When you talk those positive words, the next stage is making an actual self-care plan that fits your needs. So if you're not confident because your hair doesn't look good, then go to the salon. Make sure you go to the salon every 3 weeks. If you're not confident because your nails are too long, I don't know, go to the nail salon, get your nails done every 4 to 5 weeks. I don't know. If you feel like your wardrobe needs updating, get a second job as a bartender and go shopping online. I don't know. You want to lose weight, whatever makes you find your highest level of vibration, that's what you have to do. And the key is, it's not a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. You truly have to do this for the rest of your life. You got to put yourself first for the rest of your life. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you go in a relationship and you don't know yourself, you're going to attract some craziness. Because if you put yourself first, you don't have to worry about anything else. And putting yourself first means you have so much self-respect. You treat yourself so well. You're not going to let anyone come into your life, man or woman, family or friend, and disrespect you and drag you and be negative and be toxic. Because normally when I'm coaching, I notice that the women that have problems in relationships, I always ask, tell me about your family. Tell me about your friends. And 9 out of 10 times, it kind of aligns. If you got a toxic ass relationship, normally you got toxic ass family, because someone taught you that being treated that way was okay. It's not all the time, but most of the time, if you have a challenging childhood or a traumatic upbringing, or you've had some type of experience that affected you, there's something in your past telling you that being treated less than 100 is okay. There's something in your past telling you that not putting yourself first is okay. There's something happening, because if you were raised to be loved and adored, and daddy's a little princess, and your mom said, I love you, and your mother hugged you at least once a week, and you were raised that you are the prize, you are worthy, you're meant to get married, you're meant to be courted. I'm not saying there's anything perfect. There's no absolutes. There's no absolutes. Okay? Then more than likely, you're not going to have that much challenges as a next girl. So usually when I see that, I look and I say, okay, there's something that happened, and normally 9 to 10 times I'm right. So that means she needs to work with a therapist, she needs to work with a psychologist or a life coach or a combination of all three, and be really aggressive in getting herself love back. And that's what most relationship things skip. They actually don't ask the woman how she's doing, how she's feeling. And if you just take care of your exterior, there's a lot of, I'm telling you something, I wish you guys can see what I see. There are beautiful, drop dead gorgeous black women. Absolutely gorgeous. I wish I can show you, but it's confidential. I'm talking about when I do the Skype coaching like this and I come on. Sometimes I see her, I'm like, whoa, whoa, wow. And she's absolutely stunning. And I'm like, what problems could you be having? Like, give me that waistline. Give me that smooth skin. Oh, I'm sorry, pretty life. Well, I hope you know by now that's absolutely not true. Every black woman is deserving of love, happiness, and you have to start feeling that before you put yourself out there, because we're just walking antenna. We're going to attract at the level of which we are. Doesn't mean that if you attract a bad man, it means you're a bad woman. It's not that serious. But if you have insecurity, you might attract someone that makes you insecure. If you're cheap to yourself, if you don't invest in yourself, you might attract somebody that's cheap to you. If you've been abused and you haven't healed that process, you might attract somebody that's abusive to you. You attract at the level of which you are. I can prove it to you right now. One of the most confident black women I know, not personally, but we all know, is Michelle Obama. I cannot picture, as she is right now, her getting dragged or, somebody coming for her and she letting them destroy her, because she's a woman that walks and talks and moves with 100% self-confidence. And normally when guys are assholes or guys are narcissists or toxic, they run away from women like that. Men are not dumb. The men who are toxic, they pick their victims. And when they see vulnerability, when they sense a girl who doesn't really love herself, she's scared to be moored with herself, they go in for the kill. You want to know how I know? Because that's been me. When I was much, much, much younger, I didn't know any better. And especially with females, they teach you, don't be conceited, don't be conceited. You're not even allowed to say, I love myself, or I am beautiful, I'm intelligent, I am worthy. You spend a lifetime with negative subconscious programming, and that really commands your whole persona. So it's truly about starting with you at ground zero. I don't care if God comes down and he parts the clouds and he hands you a Bible and it says how to make men fall all over you 101. If you don't have the self-confidence, if you don't have the self-respect, it's not going to happen. And that's what you need to realize. I don't care if every relationship expert, I don't care. If you don't have the self-value to actually set freaking boundaries and to understand you truly are the upgrade, you're the prize, you're going to take that, read that information, it's going to go out the window. Because I see it every day. When I see these girls who are gorgeous, waist snatched, skin smooth, hair is shiny, fitness, they're working out, and they're still sounding like anybody else, that's because they haven't worked on their self-love. And no one's telling black women the most important relationship you can ever have is loving yourself. It sounds mad corny, it sounds mad cliche, but it's absolutely true. It is 100% true. So it's really important for you to, love yourself. I can't stress it anymore. And it's not easy, especially if you grow up without that culture. So that's why, that's why it's really important to love yourself. And it's hard for black women because it's hard. It's hard for black women because you're taught that. So I do believe in opening your options, but opening your options in the sense of anyone that fits your character needs. So you can, that's between you That's between you and yourself. What is important to you in a man? Know what is important to you. A prospective good husband, a good father, a good provider, traditional, modern, liberal, Christian, atheist, Jewish, Muslim, agnostic. I don't know. You got to pick. You got to pick. But when you do it upon those lines, you'll be more successful. And you'll be able to spot red flags more. When you give somebody favor, it's not, you might bypass. Let's just say I have a thing. I'm just trying to imagine something here. Let's say I have a thing for, I don't know, Hawaiian men. 6'5" Hawaiian men. And that's my type. I laugh at types. If you have a type, you'd be married already. If you have a physical type, you'd be married already. If it works, it doesn't work. Obviously, if you're doing, hey Jenna, obviously if you're, oh Jean, hi Jean, obviously if you're doing the same thing and you're not liking your results, stop doing the goddamn same thing. I used to have a type, and eventually as I mature, I said, okay, this is not working out. Ciara used to have a type. Did you see how quick she did that 180? She got her heart broken. She got left. She had her beautiful child, not married. How fast did it take for Ciara to change her type mad quick? And she basically, she said she did a law of attraction thing, and she did a prayer, and she wrote down the type of man she wanted. Now, even though they're both African American, I challenge any woman here to tell me that there's not a big difference between Future and Russell. It is like night and day. You can't compare. But she had to sit down and say, okay, I got my heart broken. I don't want this to happen again. What are the specific qualities I want in a good man, a good husband? And once she did that, she attracted and was able to identify easier. I have a strong feeling if she didn't do that, she probably would have been with Future 1.0 and Future 1.2. A lot of times girls continually date their type. They can't help it. They say it's my type. I can't help it. This is what I like. And you can most definitely help it. We're not telling you to date men who make you regurgitate in your mouth, but we're asking you to have enough common sense not to date men that are similar to the ones that give you challenges. Does it make sense? So someone asked me to look up Maryland. That's what I'm trying to do for you. Well, I mean, Ciara to me is a perfect example of not having the physical type. Because whether you like Future or not, I'm not saying anything. I don't want to go there. Obviously, Future is a different type from Russell Wilson. And I'm not talking about, you know, the actual career and stuff. Future looks completely different. Like Russell Wilson is like is a completely different appearance, and even character. She couldn't have gotten two different men. Yeah, he's clean. Yeah, clean cut. Yeah, he's clean cut. So that's what I'm trying to express to you, that if you find yourself a good white guy, more power to you, welcome to the club. But if you find yourself a good black guy or Asian guy, I'm not going to sit here and be like, start grilling you like hot dogs and beans. I don't really give a shit. That's not my business. Or as a coach, as the admin for Laws of Enchantress, the only thing that's my business is if you're being treated well. That's it. Oh yeah, she looks good. Well, and that's the real wealth, not the actual money. Oh, my type? Oh, I'm gonna laugh. So don't laugh at me. I was a nerd. This is embarrassing. My type, I used to be obsessed with wrestling. Okay, I know it's not often, but I love the WWF. I grew up watching wrestling, and I love The Rock. I love The Rock. So I had this fantasy that I was gonna marry The Rock. Like, I was looking for my Samoan, my Samoan explosion over here in New York City. The Rock, he's a wrestler. You don't know who he is? Oh, come on. Rock, I can't explain him anymore. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, the big guy. What you mean, who is he? I was obsessed. I love that big, giant, stocky wrestler type. And Rock, I was in love for years. I was certain I was gonna marry an exact replica, and I looked for it. um, it's so embarrassing. And I was like, nope, I gotta find this type. And believe it or not, I dated two guys that actually physically look like The Rock. But obviously, it didn't work out. It was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. And I continually kept looking for this type until it finally dawned on me that it wasn't working. It wasn't working. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm actually looking at the New York. I was interested. I don't know who was asking, but I'm actually looking at the New York thing, dating. New York City has the highest. Who wants to guess the average bride in New York when they get married is 32 years old. The national average is 27. The average groom in New York City, it's so tiny, is 31. The national average is 29. So we are like later in life. I can't read that. I'm not gonna burn my eyes reading this small print. I can barely read this small print. Let me turn the computer up. Woo. Woo. Oh, Naomi Campbell. Oh, she's gorgeous. I love Naomi Campbell. She's not aging. She's just a beautiful, beautiful woman. But like I was saying now. Oh yeah, he. I didn't. You see, I'm glad you brought that up. That's called compromise. So I didn't get Dwayne John Rocky, but I still am attracted to tall, big, masculine men. Like I've never been attracted to like the Tom Cruises and stuff like that. I like men who are masculine, like outdoorsy types. Like I like big men. Like I like that wrestling type. So I kind of got what I got what I wanted. But the most important thing is that Jason is a wonderful person. You know, he's gonna be a great husband. He's gonna be a great father. You know, I'm not bragging, but he's a wonderful person. He's a wonderful guy. And oh, I want to read this to you. I don't know where the girl went because I'm looking for you. I told you I like to do facts. So this is from the United States Census Bureau. Let me just make it bigger because I'm not going to kill my eyes. I'm sorry. So listen to this, guys. Pay attention, because there was somebody that was telling me whatever, because I told you I'm born in New York City. I'm like my whole life. It says right here that New York State has the highest percentage of women who have never been married. Out of the entire United States, New York State has the highest percentage of women who have never been married. So I wasn't going crazy. That's not to say you can't find love and happiness, but with that type of statistic, it's going to be much more challenging. This is according to the United States Census Bureau, which released the results of its annual American Community, the highest in New York City. I mean, guys, I'm going to be real with you. Like, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I don't talk you bullshit. If I don't know something, I'll tell you and I'll Google it. This is why the Laws of Enchantress program is actually producing marriages when it wasn't meant to, because we actually do fact-based things. We actually do fact-based things. I don't guess. I don't speak from opinion. I don't speak from my own passions. Of course, if you take me out for a margarita and a Cosmo, the way I sound on a public platform is going to be completely different. Of course, I have certain things I'm not going to share because I do believe having a certain prestige on a public platform, because these videos don't go away. My son could be a politician one day. My daughter could be president one day. I never want to say anything too extreme. That's not fact-based. That's just me being a nerd, okay? But when I tell you something, I like to be fact-based. I was born in New York City. I'm not saying you can't find love, you can't find happiness, but statistically speaking, if you're in New York State, it also says New York State has the highest percentage of women. So this survey is from the census. It takes place every year. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. Asians. I'm going to skip Asians. They always getting married. I'm skipping it. So they said by race, Asians in the city are most likely to be married. We all know that already. I have not met a baby daddy Asian guy or baby mama Asian in my whole life. If you have, put it in the comments. But it says, oh, I don't want to read this. Shit, whose idea was to look up this thing? Why didn't you listen to me? Who was it? I shall block your ass because now you're going to make me read this and get mad. I'm trying to have a good night. 51% of black women and 54% of black men have never been married. Higher than any group for New York State. Now, are you happy? Are you happy? I was trying to make this a positive thing and now you made me read this. Are you happy? Oh, you did, Adley? You knew one? And the percentage of mothers who have never been married has risen. The 37%, I don't need to read. You know what? You do your own research because I don't need to read this. If you know people in New York who are getting married, monogamous, and happy, well, the power of Christ compels you. God bless you. But I know I'm not going crazy because I grew up here and I did not spend the majority of my time in the hood, and I was in Manhattan most of my life, and I did not see in abundance. I saw a very creme de la creme of like Harvard grads and Columbia grads because they only like to date and marry each other and living a specific strip in Manhattan. But outside of that, I knew I wasn't wrong to, I knew I wasn't going crazy with that statistic. So New York State has the highest percentage of women who have never been married, and that's according to the United States Census Bureau. So, like I was saying, you know, nothing is absolute. Nothing is absolute, but you definitely, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say because I didn't want to. Wow. Okay. Well, now that we found that out, somebody was asking about Maryland. Somebody asked about Maryland? No? Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to tell sisters. Like, I'm just my advice, do the math, break down what you're looking for, look at your age, look at your other circumstances, and you can be strategic. Just like that Russian or Ukraine girl was in my other video. Because I don't play if I don't know, I don't know. I'm not one of these people to tell you to do something based on my opinion. I would never do that. If I do something, I will tell you this is just my opinion and you can do your own research. But I would never tell you to do something based on my opinion, because I have crazy opinions. If you go to my private group, I just talk and we have fun. But in terms of structured courses and stuff, I'm such a nerd. I have to look at statistics. I have to look at data, and I actually cross-reference. I check, and I'm very selective. Like, I like to use census, Pew Research, government-based data, because they have the biggest amount of people in their research or their database. I don't like to just guess, because there's a lot of professional. Oh, thank you. Thank you. There's a lot of professional women in New York, and especially the sisters, they take a hit. They take a hit. So, now that we saw that. So, in terms of dating, this is one thing I want to tell women. I can't say too much because I don't want to give away paid content, but okay. Well, listen, I'm not, everybody's entitled to their perception. I mean it, God bless her if she knows a section of people in New York who are all happily married, who are all monogamous, and they get married. That means they're actually defying the statistics, and I'm all about that. I'm here for positivity, and I mean that. If she truly has that experience, God bless her. That doesn't make me angry. Just that you can't deny the millions and millions and millions and millions of women who live in New York State who have never, we have the highest unmarried women in America, New York State. So at some point, like, there's reality and there's your own experience. So I'm not saying it's impossible, because people do get married, but statistically over speaking, it's 51% of black women are unmarried. 54% of black men are not married. It's the highest in the nation. And that's from the census. So, probably, and she's talking about New York State, where people are already married. Like, if you look at Rockland County is not for singles. Rockland County is big ass houses, big ass mansions, well-to-do, and it's mostly, the suburbs are in general not for single people. Like, if you got money and you're single, you want to live in the big city. If you're getting married, having kids, you want to move to the suburbs. Or if you want to buy a house and you're single, really doesn't happen too much with New Yorkers, but it does happen for people that are more traditional and family and stuff like that. So, no, I don't know. So, good luck to that. But the next thing is, a lot of women don't know how important it is to vet. And that's the last thing I'm going to say, 11/11. And the reason why I'm talking about vetting is because, honestly, according to all the statistics, if you're not vetting, you lose about 85% of your power in the beginning. That's why there's so many people out there telling women all this crap. Oh, well, I'm always classy. Listen, I told you my role model is Michelle Obama. And I'm going to do a pause, okay? I'm going to do a pause right now. My role model is Michelle Obama. And you know how they tease Michelle Obama. She was called all types of names, all types of animals, all types of men. And she never sunk to their level. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. When you are a happy woman do happy things. I could sit up here all day and take you around the house and show you this and that and tell you, oh, my life is so perfect. But if you really want to learn, it's how people act in basic situations that dictate their level of life. The women that are telling you all this stuff, if they're abrasive, if they're masculine, if they're angry, like, I'm not stupid. There's a lot of different options out there. And the women that are angry but swearing to God, this is the right way to live. The women that are hostile and aggressive and just plain nasty, I'm going to tell you something. Negativity and positivity don't mix. If someone's acting negative, don't let them scapegoat you. Oh, because Kanye did this, or because, it's not true. These people constantly find scapegoats and reasons to be assholes because that's their vibration. I'm not angry. I'm engaged. I have a nice life. I got a fat cat. I'm about to get married. I'm losing weight. I have great friends. I'm actually enjoying my life. Is my life perfect? Hell no. Nobody's life is perfect. But average, I'm happy. So when I encounter situations, I don't burst out and act crazy. The women that are aggressive and nasty, it's if If she literally had that information, she should be happy. She just sound really upset. If I had a bunch of friends that were monogamous in New York, and that was happening, I would be so happy. I'd be like, okay, let me send you the information. Oh, this is where you can date. But she sound kind of combative. So what you have to understand is, when somebody's generally happy, even when bad things happen, that's not the personality. You have to be smart. Even when challenging things happen, you don't get rattled so easily. So Michelle Obama, she's first lady, she's highly educated, she's married to the president, she has 2 beautiful children, so she has greatness in her life that keeps her grounded. And when you're a good woman, you keep grounded. You don't make excuses to come out of your face. And I'm sorry, like I'm not saying you can't show emotion. I'm not saying you can't get angry. I'm not saying you can't curse and whatever. But there's a place and time for everything. Guess who you're never going to see on YouTube acting crazy? Guess who you're never going to see on YouTube acting a fool? I don't care. I don't care. Now, if you want to come find me in person, that's different. But I don't have time. So yeah, like I don't, that's no. I want to meet Michelle Obama one day. I want to sit down and have tea with Oprah. So yes. So that's, exactly. Thank you, Celeste. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Those people who act erratic, that's just who they are. That's their vibration. And they're always finding ways to express that type of emotion. On Monday, it's this reason. On Saturday, it's that reason. So that's not me. I mean, there's data out there you can find. So anyway, when you're vetting, 85% of your power is in the beginning. I talk about this all the time, meaning that we get attached easier. We're the nurturer. We're the compassionate ones. And that's why we get so angry, because our feelings are beautiful. Our feelings are authentic. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's actually something for you as a beautiful woman. And we're all beautiful. We're all worthy. We're all, and I mean it, we are all friggin' deserving. And you have to believe that when you hear it. And you have to protect yourself. You really can't let your guard down, because the beginning is the only chance you have to actually do your work. If you let your guard down and you get attached, as time goes on, it gets much more challenging. Because women aren't stupid. They're not stupid. What you're seeing is a cruel joke from biology. So if I got any science people here, there's something called oxytocin. Look it up. Oxytocin is a bonding hormone. Men have it and women have it, but women's oxytocin act very different from men's oxytocin. So basically, when your baby's crying, your baby's teething, or your baby's annoying, what stops you from taking that baby and tossing it out the window is that your body is pumped with oxytocin. It actually pumps through you during labor. So when you finish pushing out this child who just ripped you in two, they put it in your arms, you don't push it out your chest. So basically, it is a nurturing hormone. You cannot win. It is a nurturing hormone. You are meant to bond, to nurture. That's why when you sleep with someone and you may hate him, after you have sex, you might see him different. You're like, oh shit, what just happened? That's actual biology. Men's oxytocin works different. They have it, but it's not a bonder. It actually teaches independence. It actually teaches separatism. So if a guy has no feelings for you, after sex, he's not going to get more feelings for you. In fact, that's when his oxytocin is actually telling him to go out there and do more. So that's why it's important for us to establish what we want in between that, if we want something in between. As you know, I encourage that, but everybody's their own person. So your oxytocin is your bonding. So what's wrong with that? They did a study, the Endocrine Society of America, nerd alert. Okay, endocrine is your hormonal system and stuff like that. And they were just doing, thank you. So they were just doing research. They actually took the blood of over 100 abused women. It used to be 10, now it's 100. And they noticed women that were abused had excessive levels of oxytocin, 10 times more elevated in their blood. And scientists were like, why? Well, the same way if your baby's fussing or crying or fever or anything like that, and your oxytocin gets triggered, the same one that makes you breastfeed, believe it or not, when a guy's abrasive to you, unfortunately, you are biologically wired to try to keep nurturing that guy. Isn't that the most messed up thing you ever heard? So you are wired to keep nurturing that guy. So that means it's so important for you to do as much vetting as you can, because when we call girls stupid and she's dumb and she must like, no, she doesn't. Because we've all been there. Literally, your biology is working against you. That's why it's so hard to leave somebody who's toxic. That's why it's so hard to leave somebody that's abusive. That's why you see women be like, are they dumb? They're not dumb. It's called oxytocin. It's the same bonder that everybody else has. That's why you really have to be careful. Because if you get attached, you can be stuck. And that's why you see so many women in these badass situations. And you're like, what's wrong with her? Nothing's wrong with her. She got oxytocin. And even when you break up, it takes years for that oxytocin for that person to drop down, especially if you're not engaging with other men, which most girls don't after a badass breakup. I don't know who does, but most girls, they cry for at least a week or so. So that's what I'm talking about. You have to vet, because literally your biology is against you. I think it's very interesting that most women don't know that oxytocin is ridiculous. There's a whole seminar on it, and I can't go through it here. I have more information on it in my group, but it's ridiculous that a lot of women don't know. The more abusive a guy is, it triggers you to try to calm this person down and nurture this person down, and literally your body's wired to actually try to reduce that stress situation, just like a child. That's why if a mom is going through postpartum, she doesn't have that oxytocin. That's why she can hurt the child, she gets depressed, she doesn't have the resistance of that child. She wants to hurt it sometimes. So yeah, when I was reading it, I was like, oh shit. So that's why, guess what, girls? Your friend's not stupid. You know, the girls, oh, she's stupid. She keep going back to him. If she did not have that oxytocin, she could not stand the child. If she didn't have oxytocin, she couldn't breastfeed the child. She'll be too depressed to care for the child. Even as she's having labor, her body's being pumped with tons and tons of oxytocin. So even though the labor is painful, she put the baby on, you put the baby on the chest, she still wants to hold the baby. Without the oxytocin, she might be like, yo, get this kid off of me, son. Get this kid off of me. Yeah, this guy has caused me pain. Get this kid off of me. So there's a lot in terms of taking the scientific and fact-based approach versus just going on emotion and going wild. There's a lot of it. So hopefully I'll see you guys there in Laws of Enchantress. You can come to the free page, or you can just join the program. And my cat is back. My cat is back. That's my alarm. Okay. You want to go on camera? Come here. Come here. Back. Okay, fine. This cat. You see me fighting with the cat? He's 25 pounds of terror. I can't pick him up. I just can't do it. He's gonna stay down there. But that's why it's interesting, guys, to actually know these things, because I know so many beautiful black women that have gotten caught up in really bad situations. And honestly, it's very hard for her to leave because her body's pumping out that oxytocin. And that's why it's important for her to vet as much as she can. Okay, so this cat is acting crazy. I think it's time to go upstairs. Like, he's going nuts. I think he's hungry. I have to feed him. So, okay, guys, thank you for watching. And remember, if you have questions, you can message me on Facebook. Bye-bye, guys.